Okay, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be telling the life of Prophet Ayyub and his story and yeah, what happened basically. So yeah, let's get into it. So Prophet Ayyub was a descendant of Prophet Ibrahim. Okay, Ayyub's mother was the daughter of Prophet Lut and his wife was a direct descendant of Prophet Yusuf. Ayub lived in Rome with his dear wife Rahma and 14 children. Eh? So Ayub basically had 14 children. Ayub was a prophet who was immensely blessed by Allah. He was strong and healthy. He had large plots of land, abundant livestock, and a righteous and beautiful family. He was also a community leader who was highly respected and loved by his people. Despite his status and wealth, Ayyub was never arrogant. He was always humble. He readily helped the deprived and constantly thanked and glorified Allah for everything he was blessed with. Yeah. So one day, high up in the heavens, the angel began discussing about the best of humans who lived on earth. An angel amongst them said, "The best creature on earth today is Ayub, a man of noble character who displays great patience and always remembers his generous Lord. He is an excellent model for the worshippers of Allah. In return, his Lord has blessed him with a long life and plenty of servants. The needy and the poor share in his good fortune. He feeds and clothes the poor and buys slaves to set them free. He makes those who receive his clarity feel as if they are favoring him. So kind and gentle is he." So that's what the angel said, okay? So Shaitan used to be good, yeah, but then since the creation of Adam, he got jealous. He got jealous because of saying that fire could destroy clay. So yeah, and then this is how he got jealous. Okay? So Shaitan, who was in the victory overheaded discussion and became very angry, he immediately began plotting to lure Ayub away from the worship of Allah. So we never want Ayub to worship Allah. So basically, he whispered evil thoughts to Ayub about the many pleasures of life that a man such as Ayub could easily enjoy. But the Prophet was a senior servant of Allah and was not easily faltered. This enraged Shaitan further. Okay, so Shaitan approached Allah and informed him that Ayub was not a senior servant of his, and was only glorifying him in fear of losing all his wealth. And that is false. It is. He, Shaitan, suggested if you remove his wealth, then you will find that his tongue will no longer mention your name, and his praying will stop. Allah, the All-Knowing, did not believe Shaitan, for he knew that Ayub was among his most senior believers and did not worship his Lord for mere material possessions, but he agreed to test Ayub to show Shaitan the absolute sincerity of his loyal servant. Overjoyed, Shaitan set out to destroy Prophet Ayub's wealth. So, as time passed, Prophet Ayub's wealth began to diminish. His land, livestock, servants, and money slowly evaded him until he was left with nothing. Immensely satisfied with Ayyub's ordeal, Shaitan, disguised as a wise old man, approached the Prophet and said, "All your wealth is lost." So this is what Shaitan is saying, to make sure Ayyub doesn't worship Allah. So Shaitan is saying, all your wealth is lost. Some people say that it is because you give too much charity and that you are wasting your time with your continuous prayers to Allah. Others say that Allah has brought this upon you in order to please your enemies. If Allah had the capacity to prevent harm, then He would have protected your wealth. Okay? So then Ayub replied, yeah? Ayub replied, Allah gives whom He wills, and Allah takes from whom He wills, and all of the wealth that I have belonged to Allah, so He has every authority to take it back from me. Ayub then turned around and continued to thank and praise Allah. Okay, so he never listened to Shaitan. Feeling rather frustrated, Shaitan returned to Allah and said, I have stripped Ayyub of all his possessions and he still remains grateful to you. However, he is only hiding his disappointment. The real test of a parent is through his children. You will see how Ayyub will reject you. Allah still knew that Ayyub's faith and love for his Lord. So basically, Ayyub replied, Allah give whom He wills, and Allah takes from whom He wills. And yeah, you will see how Ayyub will reject you. Allah still knew that Ayyub's faith and love for his Lord will not water, but He agreed to test Ayyub further. Before long, the building in which Ayyub's children living, crushing, killing. Before long, the building in which Ayyub's children lived, crushing, killing all 14 of his young, beautiful children. Shaitan once again visited Ayyub, disguised as sympathizing bystander, and remarked with sorrow, the circumstances under which your children died were sad. Surely your Lord is not rewarding you properly for all your prayers. So that's what Shaitan said. Ayub responded, Allah gives me what is good for me and takes away what Allah sees that is displeasing for him and for me. Allah sees that all of these children may be as a strong trial for me. So Allah took them away from me. Whether a thing is beneficial or harmful to me, I will remain firm in my belief and remaining thankful to my Creator. So that's what Ayub said. Okay. Then Shaitan rushed back to Allah and said, O my Lord, Ayyub's wealth is gone. His children are dead and he is still healthy in body, and as long as he enjoys good health, he will continue to worship you, hopes of regaining his wealth and producing more children. Grant me authority over his body so that I may weaken it. He will surely neglect worshipping you and will thus become disobedient. Allah granted his request but instructed, I will give you authority over his body but not over his soul, intellect or heart, for in these places reside the knowledge of me and my religion. Okay? But soon after Ayyub's health began to deteriorate, he was so ill that the skin of his body used to fall off, revealing his muscles and bone. So he was so weak that his skin just fell off and his body used to fall. Oh, so basically, he was so ill that the skin of his body used to fall off, revealing his muscles and bones. But Allah instructed the only two organs that functioned in the body were his heart and tongue, which he continued to use to glorify Allah. Ayub suffered through severe pain, but he never allowed himself to complain or falter in his belief in Allah. So if he was ill, he didn't care. He still worshipped Allah. Okay. The Shaitan tried everything, but he failed. Okay. The people of the city began discussing if Ayub was a good person, Allah wouldn't have done this to him. And eventually they abandoned him, his relatives, friend, and everyone who loved and respected Ayub deserted him, except for Rahma, his beloved wife. So his beloved wife is Rahma. Okay? So this is Prophet Ayub's love for Allah. For years, Ayub continued to suffer through his conditions with none but Rahma, his wife, by his side to take care of him. They had no money and no income, so his wife took up a job provide for him. But the people of the city did not allow Rahma to work for long, for they feared that she would afflict them with the same illness as her husband. Ayub, meanwhile, continued to pray to Allah to give him the strength and patience to endure this pain and suffering. One day, Shaitan appeared before Rahma in the form of man and asked her, Where is your husband? Pointing at the almost lifeless figure of Ayub. Rahma replied, There he is, suspended between life and death. Shaitan then went on to remind her of the blissful day of good health, children and wealth. Overwhelmed with the years of pain and hardship, Rahma approached Ayub and went, O Ayub, you are the Prophet, the Messenger of Allah. You have the closest relationship to Allah. Ask Allah to take you out of this harm that you are in. So then Ayub sighed and replied, Shaitan must have whispered to you and made you dissatisfied. Tell me, how long did I enjoy good health and riches? His wife responded, 8 years or so. He replied, for how long am I suffering like this? She said, 7 years. Ayub then said, in that case, I am ashamed to call on my Lord to remove my hardship, for I have not suffered longer than the years of good health and plenty. It seems your faith has weakened, and you are dissatisfied with the fate of Allah. If I ever regain health, I swear I will punish you with 100 strokes. From this day onward, I forbid myself to eat or drink anything by your hand. Leave me alone and let my Lord do with me as he pleases. Okay? Feeling helpless, Ayub turned to Allah, seeking his mercy. Verily, Shaitan has touched me with distress by losing my health and torment. By losing my wealth, he prayed. Allah immediately responded to Ayyub's desperate call for help. Allah says, strike the ground with your foot. This is a spring of water to wash in and cool and a refreshing drink. Okay? Ayyub immediately performed Allah's bidding as he struck the ground with his foot. Cold water gushed at his feet as commanded. Ayub drank and washed his entire body using the water. Within a short while, Ayub's blisters disappeared, his skin renewed completely, and his internal organs began functioning. Indeed, Ayub was completely cured by the grace of Allah. Okay? So Allah sent down water as mercy and it cured them all. It cured his skin and organs and cured her blisters and everything. Okay, blisters are like rocks and stuff that are like stuck in your skin. Yeah, yeah. She asked him, "Where's Ayub?" Okay, Rahma, who could not stand to be away from her husband any longer, returned home. As she entered their home, she was greeted by Ayub, whom she did not recognize. And she asked him, "Where is Ayub? Who are you? You look very similar to him." He replied, smiling, "It's me." Overjoyed, she immediately embraced him and thanked Allah for his mercy. Ayub remembered his promise to punish his wife with 100 strokes once he regained his health. He did not want to hurt his beloved wife, nor did he want to break his oath to Allah. So Allah the Most Wise instructed Ayub, take in your hand a bundle of thin grass and strike therewith your wife and break not your oath. Allah then restored Ayub's wealth. Allah then Allah then restored Ayub's wealth. Allah sent down a rain of locusts. Okay, locusts are like insects, flying insects, okay, made of gold that fell all around Ayub. And Ayub began gathering the gold locusts. Allah asked him, "O Ayub, have I not made you too rich to need what you see?" Ayub replied, "Yes, my Lord, but I cannot shun your blessings." Ayub and Rahma were also given back the family. The couple were blessed with 28 beautiful healthy children, 14 girls and 14 boys. The story of Prophet Ayub is one adversity mixed with patience. It is easy to be a and faithful servant of Allah when everything is going well, but his faith never faltered during difficult times, which is that makes him a remarkable being. Okay, so what we learn by this story is that Ayub, even if he was ill or even if his skin was falling off, he still prayed to Allah and he was being good. Shaitan did his best, but he failed. Okay. So yeah, this is what the story is all about, and how much love of Ayub, Prophet Ayub love for Allah. Okay, so yeah, this is the story of Prophet Ayub. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Like and subscribe, and then yeah, we'll see you on more Islam stories. Bye.